Brad Rhodes. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm going good. Welcome to Friedberg Comes Alive, the show about Friedberg, which is in southern Forsyth County, northern Davidson County. You were in the Davidson County side of the county line, weren't you?
Exactly right. Yeah.
How far? You were off of Friedberg, and back in the day, you hung a left on Central,
hmm
going east on excuse me, going west on Friedberg, and you would hang a left on Central, and then hang a what on what?
Yeah, a right on Barons.
Okay.
Barons, Barons.
So you grew up on Barons, right?
Yep. Yep.
Do you have any folks that are still in that neck of the woods?
You know what? It was a great neighborhood to live in, but I don't think I know anybody who still lives there. Everybody's pretty much moved out.
And we were chatting before the interview that you how many of the people that I've already interviewed did you know growing up?
Yeah, so the last one, Christy Pegram, or I think she's along now, maybe Christy, and the Webbers. Knew Riddick and Herb. You interviewed Herbie or Riddick, but I knew Herbie and Riddick and Christian, David. Those were all the four brothers.
I think right across the street from Riddick, by my understanding, I knew him back in the day, but I barely knew where he lived, even though he lived in my neighborhood, Dale Kearney. And I think that Dale Kearney got some kind of, he was on the Davidson County side of the line, but he got some kind of clearance to be in the Forsyth County school system, and therefore this Forsyth County scheme of things. And so it's almost temporarily where Forsyth County expands many several feet into Davidson County. But Brad, you have accomplished one thing just in agreeing to the interview, which is I've in my brain I've calculated that there are three types of people in the world: the people that you know, the people that you don't know, and the people that you kind of sort of should know or would know or could know because you see them or might see them or probably have seen them on the way. You were too far away from me, and I was too far away from you. I was on June Lane growing up. Are you familiar with June
Oh
Lane?
yeah, sure.
And part of the reason that you were familiar with it is because theoretically you crossed June Lane much more often than I would have crossed Central, let alone Barron.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you wouldn't have come up Central Road like went Friedberg up and down that road. Yeah.
So you didn't have much dealings in Forsyth County, or did you?
Well, what's interesting, I was just thinking about it today. I live in Lexington now, and I was over in Winston-Salem today. But growing up, it's kind of weird thinking back about it. We lived in northern Davidson County. We did everything in Winston-Salem, and I think the reason was my mom was from Winston-Salem. She grew up on Indiana Avenue over near the Garner plant where I think they still make Texas Pete. But she grew up there, and so if we were going out to eat, if we were going to the mall, I remember when Haynes Mall first opened, we did everything entertainment wise in Winston pretty much.
But you went to school in Davidson County,
Yeah, I went to North Davidson. Yeah,
and you played sports in Davidson County.
that's right. Yeah,
How did you know Riddick?
through church. Yeah, so I was at Freeburg, and we got there. We moved from Charlotte, I want to say in '73, and mom and dad we started visiting churches. I still remember all over the place. And Friedberg just happened to be where we must have felt comfortable. Um, and that's where we met the Webbers. Yeah, absolutely.
And did you meet Christy Pegram there as well?
Yeah, I think she came later. I can't remember when, but I definitely remember her and her family. Yeah.
And when did you move away from Friedberg, from Arcadia, Friedberg?
Yeah. So I went to college. I went to NC State in '85 and got married in '93. And my wife and I moved to Thomasville. And then I want to say in 1998, we built a house where we're living now. Um, kind of near High Rock Lake. We don't live on the lake, but down off of Beck's Church Road in Lexington.
Okay.
Well, Beck's Church Road is what the road a lot of people take to get to the lake for sure. Yeah.
But do you ever go on the lake?
It's kind of weird living down here. I've never been much of a lake person. I don't know why. We love going to the beach, but never really done much out on the lake.
And when did you stop going to Friedberg Church?
I would probably say around probably 97. My first daughter was baptized there, so I remember that. So probably 97-ish, somewhere around there.
And who were two or three of the families, or I guess individuals really, that you knew from that day that you're maybe still acquainted with or friends with?
Yeah, that's a good question. I remember hearing Riddick and Christie talk about. It's funny when you mention Friedberg, the last thing Foltz always kind of comes out. There are a lot of Foltzes there. I think Hayworth Miller was a
wait,
member
wait. Hayworth Miller.
Oh yeah.
Wait, Hayworth Miller is the funeral home, correct?
That's right. That's right.
But are there lots of Hayworths and Millers at Friedberg?
I'm sure there were some Millers at the time. Probably embarrassed myself. It's been so long ago, but I went by Friedberg today, coming back home from Winston. I think maybe because we were doing this interview, I hadn't been by there in a while, and it just brings back some really good memories.
Did you explore the landscape growing up in the 70s, I guess early 80s? I'm 59. How old are you?
57.
Okay, so you're a young whippersnapper. Did you explore even the Friedberg landscape? In other words, tell me if this doesn't ring true to you. Friedberg, in my brain anyway, is a community, and as such, the backbone of it is Friedberg Church Road. And as you go away from Friedberg Church Road, north and south, there is a creek that kind of sort of ends what I'm calling Friedberg. On your side was what creek? Do you know the name of the creek?
I want to say Frybridge. Frybridge Creek.
But is it Frybridge Road or Frybridge Creek? Is there a Frybridge Creek?
I'm pretty sure. Sure.
Have you heard of Miller Creek?
Have
you heard of Miller Creek?
I'm not. Well, in Davidson County, Forsyth County.
Well, there's a Muddy Creek or something north of a mile and a half north of Friedberg Church Road, and there's a creek as you look at the map about a mile and a half south of Friedberg Church Road. Okay. And you don't know the name of it. I will put it in the notes because I've studied it a little bit because of this show, and I still haven't posted the Wiki. Arcadia has a Wiki page. Friedberg doesn't, and that's an injustice because Friedberg is no more or less than Arcadia and vice versa. But Friedberg has been around 100 years before Arcadia got started.
Right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Brad.
That's right.
Any other memories of Friedberg that jump out at you?
Well, just
or Arcadia.
Yeah. Well, the church was a big part of our life. We went. My dad made sure we went every Sunday.
Youth group.
So my dad was a big. He led the youth group for many years. So yeah, those are good memories. I remember hearing you talk, I think, to Christy about Laurel Ridge. I went to Laurel Ridge a few years. Those are great memories, for sure.
Yeah. And did you ever go down June Lane or Judy Lane?
Yeah, June Lane.
Why?
Well, again, when you were interviewing Riddick, a lot of those names, Alvin Cheek lived in that area. The Drapers. What was the street that went directly across Friedberg Church Road?
It's either I think it's Candlewood.
So I don't know if you ever knew the Gentrys down there.
Well, I hope to. Do you have a first name?
Yeah. So Randy Gentry was my age, and then he had two older siblings, Luann and Clark were his older siblings. Do you remember them at all? They lived at the end.
Yeah, what do you do now?
So I'm in the insurance, retirement planning field. We work, people going on Medicare has always been a bread and butter of mine. My dad trained me, and now my son-in-laws are doing it as well with
Are,
me.
are you at liberty to say the name of the company?
So my company is Rhodes Financial. Pretty original, right? And we have an office downtown Lexington.
Where did you get your training? Where did you train up to be a financial planner?
Well, I'm not officially a financial advisor, like a retirement advisor, but it wasn't from college. It pretty much just came from learning from my dad. He trained me, and um, I don't know, just one of those things you just never thought you would be doing it this many years later. But it's been 32 years now. So
And it's a successful business, and you don't have a particular degree in it.
that's right. That's right.
You are old school. You're the old school. You're one of the characters from Mayberry. Because, in Mayberry, of course, as in Winston-Salem, as in Arcadia, you're going to have 103 different characters that are good-natured and nice and realistic. You're very realistic, Brad, and you're doing this work that you weren't, but your dad trained you. You did get a training, but it was old school of hard knocks
Yeah.
training. Oh, how did your dad get the training? Did he have a degree in it?
No. So my dad was a very intelligent civil engineer. He was worked for as a civil engineer for a couple of companies, and then somewhere in the mid '80s, whatever, I'm not sure happened, somebody told him he may want to try the insurance business, and that's what he's been doing ever since.
Why did you moved from Charlotte to Arcadia Friedberg in 73?
I think it was around 73.
Was that job related on your dad's part?
That's right. Yeah, he got a new job out of Charlotte, moved to out of Winston-Salem, decided we wanted to live in Davidson County and allow him to work in Forsyth County. But yeah, that's why we moved basically.
And ooh, that's cool, because why is that cool? I just think that, yeah, we moved in 76. I think it was the summer of 76 that we moved to Friedberg. So it was 3 years after you, and you were already yeah, you were younger than me. And oh yeah, what sports did you play growing up?
Primarily, basketball was a big. We had a nice flat surface behind our house to play basketball. I've got two brothers, and so it seems like it would be myself and my older brother against my dad and my younger brother. We play 2-on-2 all the time, and then a lot of the people from around the neighborhood would come there and play. I think the Webbers came over some, and then so basketball and baseball. I didn't play football. My younger brother Darren did.
Right. Let me tell Ziggy to stop. Ziggy, stop. Oh, so you didn't know Mark Draper's cousin Daryl Edwards, did you?
I knew Mark, but I don't think I knew him.
Because the only reason Ziggy, stop. The only reason that I knew Mark, who lived on my street, but lived at the end of my street on the Davidson County line, side of it, was that he was first cousin of Daryl Edwards, my friend from 2 doors down from me. And so they were friends and buddies and tight. And I got to know Mark through Daryl, and he passed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as opposed to past, Brad Rhodes, thank you so much for being a guest on Friedberg Comes Alive. You have brought Friedberg increasingly is coming alive. It's always been alive. It's always been fruitful, bountiful, and wonderful. And you've experienced that, but thank you for bringing it even more alive. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.